They then moved to a facility called the Peace House for summit talks. Kim signed a visitor's book and took photos with Moon. Last week, the North State media announced Pyongyang's plans to stop nuclear and intercontinental ballistic missile tests. But so far, the North has not indicated it will give up the nuclear weapons that it claims to possess. The meeting precedes a possible first-ever summit between North Korea and the United States. And you're watching live pictures coming in from Panmunjom at the Peace House. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in have sat at the table. The meeting is about to begin.
200m 거리나 되는 짧은 거리를 오면서 아까 말씀드렸지만 정말 이자 분리선을 넘어 보니까
Let's listen in with simultaneous interpretation.
넘기 힘든 높이로
Yes, with a state of mind, what kind of state of mind did I have as I was walking 200 meters? It took such a long time to cross such a distance, and I wonder why it was so difficult for me to make this trip, and it's such a historic trip. Many have great expectations. And when we release, if we release statements and so on, if they don't lead to great developments, then it would only lead to major disappointments. So my state of mind as I was walking, I made up my mind to do my best to resolve many issues that we both face and work together, so that all our lost time on both sides will not be wasted. I had so many mixed feelings as I was crossing the demarcation line, and here, for peace and prosperity, this is a starting point. We stand at this starting point, and that is the state of my mind that I have as I sit down, ready to begin discussions. Let's have comfortable talks with each other so that we can create great results. And let's not go back to how we used to be. In the past, we tended to go back to square one. Let's not do that again. Let's make developments. Let's try and live up to everyone's expectations. And as I heard, many people are talking about the food to be served at tonight's dinner, and we brought cold noodles from Pyongyang. So I hope, President Moon, you will enjoy the cold noodles that we brought from Pyongyang. I hope you will really enjoy the noodles that we brought. Let's have comfortable, honest talks with each other. And I look forward to having good dialogue with President Moon, really vital, necessary conversations with him. And that is what I would like to say to President Moon, and also that is what I want to say to all the reporters here present. Thank you.
And today we meet together as we celebrate our meeting. The weather is very clear. And the spring has come to the Korean Peninsula. The spring on the Korean Peninsula, and all eyes are on the Korean Peninsula. And they are looking at Panmunjom right now. All people living in the south and expatriates, they have also great expectations too. So we, the two leaders, have very many things on our shoulders. And for the first time in history, Mr. Chairman Kim crossed the border, crossed the military demarcation lines. And I believe Panmunjom is a symbol of peace, not a division. People living in South Korea and people in the world have a great expectation. And I'd like to show my respect for your encouragement and your courage to have this dialogue. And I hope that we have a bold dialogue and decision for peace and prosperity for the globe and people in the world. We have enough time to have a dialogue for a whole day. I'd like to talk about what we haven't talked for the last decades. Thank you.
We have to start talking now, but the reporters are here still.
Okay, we have heard a rare live voice of the North Korean leader. He said he wants to discuss peace and prosperity on the Korean Peninsula, and he said this meeting will be the starting point, and he expects great results and developments, and he wants to live up to the expectations of everyone. He also talked about food that will be served at the banquet, about the cold noodles that would be served there, and he said he would love to have a comfortable and honest talk. And on Moon's side, he said, well, he talked about the significance of Kim's crossing the demarcation line in a historic event, and he also said Panmunjom is a symbol of peace, and he respects Kim's courage and decision to hold this meeting. What's your take on this?
Yes, for Kim Jong-un, he called this meeting historic. And also he said he'll do his best to resolve many issues, but he didn't specifically say anything about which issue they are going to talk. And as for Moon Jae-in, he said Panmunjom is a symbol of peace, not the division. And at this place, he would like to have a dialogue for peace and prosperity. And also, for that matter, Moon Jae-in didn't go into too much details about the agenda they are going to discuss at this summit.
I think the fact that the word denuclearization did not come up in their first Kim's address is something that people around the world have reacted to.
That's right. Everybody expect the major topic of the denuclearization of Korean Peninsula. But at this initial conversation, they didn't use that term, denuclearization. But on top of their mind, it is inside of their mind. So let's wait and see how they talk about the issue.
Right. Now, leaders from North and South Korea will begin official summit talks at the Truce Village in Panmunjom at any moment. They're expected to focus on denuclearization, although it didn't come up in Kim's first address. The leaders have only met face-to-face for a short while, but in that time, we have already witnessed a historic moment and even a surprise. A short while ago, the leaders met face-to-face for the first time. They appeared relaxed and were smiling. Then Kim made history by becoming the first North Korean leader since the Korean War armistice to step across the military demarcation line to the South Korean side. In a surprise move, with Kim's encouragement, both leaders then stepped back on the North Korean side. People cheered as the leaders made that move hand in hand into the north. When they re-entered the southern side, they were greeted by elementary school children from the Truce Village. The warm welcome continued at a nearby plaza. Kim was saluted by South Korean honor guards in an official ceremony. They then moved to a facility called the Peace House for summit talks. Kim signed a visitor's book and took photos with Kim. Last week, the North State media announced Pyongyang's plan to stop nuclear and intercontinental ballistic missile tests. But so far, the North has not indicated it will give up nuclear weapons that it claims to possess. The meeting precedes a possible first-ever summit between North Korea and the United States. The two leaders are scheduled to sign a written agreement after their talks. The two leaders are about to begin their summit talks. North Korea's nuclear program is, of course, expected to be a key part of the talks. The meeting has gained a lot of attention in part because it could precede a first-ever U.S.-North Korea summit. Many will be watching to see if Moon can lay the groundwork for this U.S.-North Korea summit. And we will bring you what the event unfolds in the coming hours.